What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below. As usual, excuse me. This one's entitled The Importance of Fathers. I think we seem to have a misconception that um, men aren't important and when we're adults, and that comes from the misconception that fathers aren't important when we're children. So what I'm gonna address is why why fathers are important, because they bring balance of life. See, mothers impart a lot of ideas, and I think fathers impart a lot of practicality. So what I mean by that is this: your mama might tell you how it should be, but your father's gonna tell you what is and what works. So your mother's gonna tell you how the world, when you're young, how the world should be and how people should treat each other, and what makes people feel good. But that's completely opposite. It's not necessarily completely opposite, but it's not, excuse me, necessarily what works. You know, your father will teach you what gets stuff done. Like I like watching, and I really don't even watch TV like that. Um, but I've been watching American Gods and watching Orlando Jones's character of Anansi. Anger gets shit done. So you know, that's one major difference between fathers and mothers, because a mother might teach you to be in touch with your feelings, but a father is going to teach you how to utilize the energy that you get from those feelings to produce something. Now, let's go a little further. Fathers are important because they show balance in the house or in the world, because they let you know what's the difference between masculinity and femininity, and why it's needed, and why it works, and the logic behind it, the method behind the madness. You know, fathers teach skills. See, fathers teach you how to do stuff. That's what fathers' jobs are. They teach you have to have a work ethic. That's where your chores really come from. That's the one thing that has kept has been the same over time. Even with single mothers, you need to do your chores, but it goes deeper than that. See, fathers are teaching you that you're gonna have to fathers teach children that they teach you how to fish, like in that old parable where, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. Mothers will give you a fish because they love you, but because fathers love you, they'll teach you how to fish, so you'll never have to ask anybody else for food. That's what I mean by teaching skills. So it's a big difference. And this is why sometimes fathers and children don't necessarily get along, because fathers know there ain't no free lunch in this world, and nobody's going to treat you like that. Like there's a free lunch, and nobody cares about you like that. It's just the reality of it. The fathers will teach you your role, and how your role is going to be perceived, not perceived, how people are going to deal with your role. What I mean by that is, fathers will teach their daughters about men. These are the type of men you need to be around. These are the type of men you need to avoid. And they'll tell you the reasons. And they'll tell you, if you use your sexuality, you're gonna wind up a sexual object. If you use your femininity, you might wind up a wife. Two different things. Um, with their sons, same difference. You know, we tell sons how the world's gonna treat you. Okay, and the reason that's gonna happen is because we tell sons, look, if you if you act like more girly, you won't last long. Nobody cares about you being in touch with your femininity. They care about you getting stuff done, and men get stuff done. So when you produce, that's where you're gonna get your respect, um, and that's where your success is gonna come from. So like I said, that's one of the issues. Fathers will tell you some principles. You know, fathers don't would tell you, what goes around comes around. You're not special when it comes to karma. There's just the principles. You're gonna reap what you sow. There's no exception to that. There's no, but you're different. No, there's no exception to that. You know, you work hard. You you work hard. You show up on time. You produce. Um, you'll get how can I say that? You'll get good results. And watch this. Fathers teach you nuances. Like, fathers will tell you, even if you fulfill your dream. Like I was hearing a brother talk about this recently with the NBA draft. When guys get on the stage and they give the commissioner this big ass hug. Like, no, that's a business deal. He ain't your family. He ain't your friend. I know you accomplished a dream, but it ain't a minute that you just hug him. Oh, I love you. I love you. No, it's a business deal. They, he don't care about your teammates. They can't play like you. They didn't draft them, right? So they don't care about. Don't act like Don't act like um, he'll give you the same hug he'll give your teammate that never played. He wouldn't. So understand it's business. You know, and fathers teach that as far as ideology and logic. What I mean by this, a person will tell you, a mother might tell you, be a better player. And if you're real good and you're better than everybody, you can go to the NBA, right? A father tell you, when you're a better player, people are gonna buy tickets to see you, and they're gonna buy tickets, and your high school gonna get paid off of you for what you do. Your college gonna get paid for what you do. The professionals, then you're getting paid for what you do. You know, and your rookie contract is really payback for working for free as a high schooler and a college students. That's what a father will tell you. And you were like, oh, a father's gonna tell you, if you make a certain amount of money, Look, check this out. If you make $10 million at the age of 20, understand, you might die at 80. You better not try to spend that $10 million. The father's gonna tell you got taxes first, and then so that 7.5, you know, maybe $7 million you got. Here's the problem. That's gonna have to last you maybe another 60 years. So it don't make sense to go buy a fly's car to go to the club for chicks to see you. Buy jewelry so people can see you. Because guess what? 20, 30 years from now, if you run through that money and you don't have a house to stay in, or your lights ain't on, or you're not eating, going to impress people at the club is gonna look like a dumb idea. Buy a house. Start a business on the side that generates money, and then you could use some of that business money to go enjoy yourself. Okay, if you want to go on trips, use money from other ventures and maybe make it a write-off or something like that. That's what fathers will teach, like the tactics of the chess moves of life. So these are a few things. So I'm done for now. Y'all have a good one. Peace.